from the West Community Stadium in Fenton, Missouri, 25 minutes outside of beautiful St. Louis. It's St. Louis Football Club and Lou City in the USL Championship, a Group E tilt with a lot on the line. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky here with you, getting you set for this one. Today's match brought to you by the Cheshire Inn and LHM Hotel. This one's a big one. Obviously the rivalry, the Kings supremacy on the line, the Kings Cup, and obviously the Group E standings as well with the playoffs getting ever so closer. Eric, this one is as big as any all season.
Such a tight group, and it's going to come all the way to the last game, and then after tonight, everybody's going to be at 10 games played, so a big tilt tonight.
Last week at Pittsburgh, St. Louis really pulled one out of the fire. They were 2-0 down in the first half. It was all going Pittsburgh's way. St. Louis came back to tie it. Wall fall with a big late equalizer in the second half, and they could have won it as well, Eric.
Such a fantastic finish by Wall Fall, and then a great goal right before halftime for Kyle Gregg to get momentum going in St. Louis's direction. And then here, the late chance by Cicerone almost got him the full 3 points against a tough Bob Lilly team that really defends well. So St. Louis has got to be going in with a lot of confidence.
And obviously, they'll take the point. Could have had all three against Pittsburgh. St. Louis, by the way, remains undefeated at Highmark Stadium in their history. And obviously, Kings Cup supremacy on the line tonight. Lou City's had the better of it when these two have met over the last few years. St. Louis trying to continue the switching of the trend tonight. St. Louis and Lou City in the topsy-turvy Group E. The latest meeting between these two with Kings Cup supremacy and playoff implications on the line is coming up next.
This year we developed Ale d'Or, which is a beer brewed exclusively for the St. Louis Football Club. We've been partners with STLC for coming up on 3 years now. St. Louis Football Club, got some Schlafly, call out our Luligan friends on the side. You'll be able to find Ale d'Or obviously out at Soccer Park and then at your local grocery in and around St. Louis, so we're really excited to get it out there in the market. We're excited to debut it in 16-ounce cans for the upcoming season.
When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, look to the electricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce, your #1 source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky back here with you, getting you set for this big one in Group E between St. Louis and Lou City. These two fighting for that second playoff spot at the moment, and arguably the toughest group in the entire USL Championship. Let's take a look at the Louisville starting lineups, brought to you by Schlafly. And Eric, we talked about this before we came on the air. Both teams are going for it tonight. This is arguably the best team at John Hackworth's dispense.
Such a big, tight group, such a big matchup tonight. You see Cameron Lancaster back in the lineup. Del Piccolo with the game winner against Indy 11 in that second half, so he played hero. So really they're dynamic. They create a number of chances, a number of opportunities in that final third.
Team in Lou City coming off a huge win over Indy 11 last time out, making this game even more interesting tonight. St. Louis is starting 11 under Coach Steve Trichu. That front three looks pretty dangerous with Cicerone and Gregg up top with more Sam.
And rolling out a similar lineup that got the 2-2 draw away at Pittsburgh. And Wall Fall, Wharton, Umar really looked for them to control the midfield. They really grew into that game. And Kyle Gregg, we've mentioned it, that goal right before half and then that lengthy weather delay, they really came out and played Pittsburgh well, really almost left with the 3 points.
Let's take a look at tonight's player to watch, brought to you by Edward Jones. Wall Fall had that big goal to get the point away at Pittsburgh. Coach Steve Tritchard told us he's been really rounding into form over the last couple of games, and the team has kind of followed his lead in that sense.
They did, and Wall Fall really grew into that match against Pittsburgh. You could see him control the tempo. He really spread the field around and then got those forwards in play, and then the fantastic strike with the set piece.
Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game. Brought to you by Greenlight. Provide the keys for your children's financial independence with a Greenlight debit card. St. Louis this season 4-0 when they score first. Haven't dropped any points since, or rather when they score first. Closing the space really important as well, Eric. And then the keep fighting thing I think stands out to me. Really how much they've had to fight through a lot this season, including obviously the COVID-19 pandemic, the situation with stuff off the field, injuries as well, and on top of that, the situation with the future of their club. What a powerful moment here at the start of the game tonight between St. Louis and Lou City. St. Louis and Lou City have come together to recognize the fight for equality, diversity, and inclusivity by using the next 7 minutes. Two very powerful and symbolic numbers, not to play soccer, but rather to honor the ongoing movement around social injustice and the need for positive change in our sport and our society. You're seeing here comes just hours after unveiling the Black Players Alliance, an organization recognized by the USL and the USL Players Association with a mission to educate and empower its members to use their platforms to bring positive change to their communities. Black Players Alliance organization released a statement that reads, quote, "We want to create consistent dialogue with the clubs, league, and communities we serve in order to create more diverse environments As Black players, we want to use our voices to amplify the issues surrounding racism and social injustice throughout our country and be a conduit for positive systemic change. In alliance with the USLPA and with support from the USL, we will continue to shine a light on the important issues affecting not only our players within the league, but also the communities we support, and we are dedicated to leading the charge for impactful change.
Yeah, looks like that's okay.
There's this justice for George, but my lens is a little short for it.
A truly remarkable moment gets us underway here in Missouri. St. Louis and Lou City in Group E of the USL Championship. St. Louis in their home greens with the white trim, and Lou City, second time this season, first time since March 7th, before the pandemic took sports away from this country for many months, are on the road in the USL Championship. Sean St. Jacques and Eric Dobransky, our entire great crew here with you. Should be a good one tonight. These two as tight as any in the entire league, looking for playoff spots. Wall Fall with an early opportunity inside the penalty area, and Lou City blocks it away in the early stages. And you saw some people in the crowd, only family and media allowed after the CDC guidelines changed things. The guidelines for St. Louis have changed, so no fans allowed inside the West Community Stadium in Fenton, Missouri. Certainly doesn't take the intensity, though, off of this one. Lou City currently ahead of St. Louis by just 2 points in the Group E table, and a win tonight for St. Louis could put them back in the driver's seat for that second playoff spot from this really remarkable Group E, arguably the group of death in the USL Championship this season. Top to bottom, there's quality here.
And it's going to be really interesting to see these opening exchanges from both teams. As you can see, St. Louis possessing through the back and having a really good early chance. Lou City hasn't been on the road, and they played a tough Indy 11 team on Wednesday at home. you want to see what travel is going to do to this team on such, short turnaround. And St. Louis being the quality team they are, and with the group, like you mentioned, being so tight, 3 points catapults them into second. So a lot to play for both teams. And it's going to be interesting if Lou City can press that back line, get some turnovers.
Cicerone for St. Louis. Good touch away there defensively. Lou City able to initially clear their lines. A dangerous pass there. Almost put Lou City into trouble. Brian Omby was there helping defensively. Referee Ismir Heckmick waves play on for Lou City. In transition here, Cameron Lancaster, a volley and a save, almost saved. It was parried away and nearly a follow-up opportunity, a penalty appeal, nothing given, and the captain, Fanuel Kavita, dusts it up at the back. Boy, Cameron Lancaster wants that goal of the week again.
Incredible opportunity by Cameron Lancaster, but fantastic save by Morton.
Well, Kyle Morton had to be ready. The opening exchanges here have been much like a heavyweight bout. A couple early punches here. Here's Russell Cicerone with some space here. Sam runs in behind, he's offside. Would have been in to score for St. Louis, but more Sam was a little too early on the run and will be brought back. Have a look at this last sequence, Eric.
And it's going to be fun because both teams really create opportunities. Here's Cameron Lancaster, one-time volley. Way to be ready by Morton. He leaves it for a rebound, but great defending by St. Louis to be ready. Not giving away a second opportunity.
5 goals for Cameron Lancaster this season in the USL Championship. Kyle Morton, joint leader in clean sheets, playing for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds a season ago. Just made his homecoming last time out for St. Louis in Pittsburgh. Had to be ready right there for a fantastic volleyed attempt by Cameron Lancaster. St. Louis coming in 4-3-2 on the season, 3-1-1 at home. Here's Omby for Lou City. He was trying to find Opino and/or Lancaster in the middle. Couldn't quite hook it up. And Morton was able to gobble it up, an outlet to Paris G on the far side.
And for St. Louis is, can they put a full 90-minute performance in tonight? Went down 2-0 to a tough Pittsburgh Riverhounds team, a Bob Lilly team that really doesn't give up a lot of goals and really got their way back in.
Gagnola Pere assessing his options. Wall Follow scored that fantastic free kick to level the scores in the 57th minute in Pittsburgh.
And you talk to a lot of people that were either involved with the game or just watching the game. They really think that St. Louis should have ended up with the 3 points, with the Cicerone obviously hitting the crossbar late. But that goal right before halftime by Kyle Gregg really changed the complexion of the game, the match, and Wall Fall's set piece.
Here's Todd Wharton. Look, he got a little bit of a haircut over the last couple of days here. Here's Paris G. More Sam assesses his options. In a little bit of trouble. And dribbles past one man. Now he's swarmed by Lou City defenders, finding Wharton. Wall Fall. Thought about maybe sizing it up and thinks better of it. Ends up giving it away instead. And as far as Umar, who's pressured by his opposite 17 Lancaster, and they go all the way back to Morton.
And coming right out of the gates, Cameron Lancaster didn't come on until late against Indy 11 with a little bit of a pull. It sat out most of it. Really showing right away that he's going to be a threat in that final third, as always.
You know, with Sean Toast defensively there for Lou City. Paris G always dangerous on that far side for St. Louis. Throws it back in. Here's Wallfall. Gagnola Pere. Fanuel Kavita scored a crucial equalizer here against Sporting KC2. Back on August 5th, in the 90+6th minute was the last kick of the game. Or I should say for him, or I should say for his goalkeeper, was the head in there. And then, yeah, his kick got a crucial point at the time for St. Louis. looked like they were going to drop all the points against a Sporting KC2 team. It's young, but he's getting results and certainly a factor despite being last place in this group. Cicerone has a handball appeal. It's given there just outside the penalty area. And Speedy Williams left an arm out there.
And you can see right away, Wall Falls appealing to take it. Very similar position than it was last week against Pittsburgh.
Just a little bit further out, arguably. Like you said, Eric, similar angle. Although Wallfall has stepped away. Wharton is over this for St. Louis, as Ben Lunt in goal is assessing what his Wall needs to do here. Look at the handball here. Oh, might have been a little bit of chest in that from Speedy Williams. But the referee was right there, had a great view of it. More Sam is over this as well for that left-pegged option as well. Todd Wharton specifically so good on these set pieces. Lofts in a good one at the back post, and Ownby's header was crucial. And it's out for a corner kick on the far side. Boy, was that needed.
Yeah, you can see here, well floated in. Great level runners right here. Again, just like you said with Ownby, if he doesn't come in, that ball is coming right across the 6-yard box again.
So Todd Wharton just lofted in a fantastic ball into the penalty area. Will try his hand at this corner kick. Good fall here. Gagnola Pare's header is a fantastic save by Ben Lunt. And it's a corner on the near side.
Both these goalkeepers with incredible saves to start this game out. Great set piece. See, got wide open there at the end. Just got separation.
And Wharton has created 2 big set piece opportunities already, putting the pressure on Lou City. We'll try it again here. It falls again for a big chance, and it's sent over the top. Wall fall in the area, couldn't put it on target.
And Sean, you and I talked about it before the match and talking to a number of people preparing for the match. Everybody says the same thing. It's such a well-balanced team that St. Louis has, and it's really a team that we can see making a run into that playoff spot. And then once you make the playoffs, you can make a run there.
I remember talking to Bob Lilly going into the game they played last week, and first thing he said about St. Louis was they're the most balanced team I've seen in the USL Championship this season. That's high praise coming from him, from a team that I would argue is in that conversation in Pittsburgh, a team that makes it so tough
but
on
then you
both ends, and then you look at St. Louis and the balance there is just as impressive.
Yeah, and you see what Bob Lilly's talking about. I mean, a really good back line, good goalkeeper Morton, solid 3 midfielders, and then the front 3 with Greg, Cicerone, and Sam. That's a dangerous front 3.
And bringing Blackwood back onto the bench as well as an option gives Coach Steve Tritchu that extra energy off the bench if he needs it. Wharton to Sam. Overlapping run from G into the penalty area. It's a great ball in. Cicerone couldn't quite get a touch to it. Gagnola Pare tries to keep it in and does. Pressured by Ownby. Manuel Kavita will reset for St. Louis, who have been on the front foot almost since the off here.
But going back to that balance we were just talking about, was this St. Louis team can beat you in a number of different ways. Where you talk about the late equalizer on the set piece, and then you could beat you in transition, they could beat you in possession. So there's so many aspects and so many different ways this team is dangerous. You know, just unfortunate to go down 2-0 to Pittsburgh on the road. But again, getting right back in the game, getting the 1-1 or the 2-2 draw.
Another chance there, punched away by Luntz. It was a lovely ball in by Gagnola Pare. Touch to Wallfall. Did he keep that in? No, says the referee. It's out for a throw-in for Lou City, who are in a position we rarely see them in. Obviously, it's only their second road game of the entire season, first since March 7th when they won at North Carolina. Let's take a look there at Steve Tritchu, the head coach, first season as the head man at St. Louis after 5 years with the Colorado Switchbacks in the USL Championship. And boy, talking with him, he just seems so calm, composed. Obviously, he's got the experience, but first-year head coach, everything that this club has been through this season, and it's incredible how he's been able to keep everybody on the same page. And obviously, the news this week, that ball goes out, I believe, for a corner. Tough to tell. Kyle Morton's frustrated with the decision. But anyway, Coach Steve Tritchie about the club's announcement that this is going to be the last season for St. Louis Football Club. He said, listen, we could have ended it there. We could have kept going. We decided to keep going and fight for a championship. You see there Kyle Morton. You can see the passion that St. Louis plays with there. Kyle Morton thought it was out for a goal kick. And instead, or should I say, thought he had saved it from going out for a corner kick. And instead, it is a corner. Akil Watts over this for Lou City. It's a lovely ball in by Watts, but Morton is easily able to cover the ground.
And you go back to the comments, he had such high praise about the players all season. Being a first-year head coach, they've really bought into what they were doing, really competitive from the start. And then, like you said, with the unfortunate news this week, you know, they met as a team, they discussed it, and they really, you know, such an incredible fan base, such an incredible supporters group. And then on top of that, you know, these are players that are playing for jobs in the future as well. So, you know, it all comes together where why not make a run at it?
Here's Daniela Pere. Give and go there. Daniela Pere had some space to run into, thought better of it, and decides to switch fields to Paris G, his counterpart on the far side. On the Lou City side of things, arguably just picked up their biggest win of the season, beating Indy 11 by 1-0. Del Piccolo's goal in the second half ended up being crucial for Lou City to get all 3 points against an Indy 11 team that's given everybody trouble this season. And they did something that not many can say this season. They kept Tyler Pasher quiet for all 90 minutes. Some have tried, many have failed this season. Lou City were successful. It just feels like John Hackworth's team is once again getting right at the right time. It's their third straight August where they've been dominant in the USL Championship going back as far as 2018. And they're trying to make it 5 in a row unbeaten to finish this month off.
They're definitely a team that creates so many opportunities. And you go back to that Indy 11 game on Wednesday, they do it without a Cameron Lancaster coming in, I believe, with about less than 15 minutes in that Wednesday night match. You know, moved Hopino to center forward, replacing Luke Spencer, and get a, you know, solid goal from Del Piccolo. So a win here tonight puts Lou City tied at the top of the table, and everybody even at 10 games played with 6 left.
Lovely play there to find Russell Cicerone on this near side for St. Louis. Centering pass for Gregg is cut out, almost as far as Cicerone. Tosh there defensively. And maybe Lou City can finally stretch their legs out here. Speedy Williams.
I really like what we're seeing out of St. Louis right here in the first 22 minutes. You do see that balance that so many people have talked about. You see the ability to build out of the back really quickly, move through the midfield, find those lines, find the seams, and then in that final third, finding a wide ball, and then not only finding the wide ball, but finding good levels of runs in the 18-yard box. And then the set pieces have been quite tough to defend as well so far. So a really good start for the St. Louis team.
Watts played that into the penalty area, looking for Del Piccolo. Easy for Morton. So far, St. Louis, especially with that flurry of set pieces they had the better of it so far. But nothing to show for it as of yet. Pressure from Lou City forces that out for a throw-in on the far side.
And these are going to be those moments that I'm interested to see moving forward as well, is when that front three for Lou City does apply pressure to that back line. You know, where is Wallfall? Where is Umar? Where are those as outlets? Wharton as outlets out of that back line. And those were the incomplete passes that they didn't find against Pittsburgh, and they really struggled to build out of the back and find a rhythm. So, you know, Lou City might go in and out of pressing that back.
Did last night's cleaning crew drop the ball? Call the pros at Janny King for a free cleaning quote and get the winning service you deserve. Boy, the storylines just abound in this matchup. No question about that. Both of these teams obviously have a lot to play for. St. Louis in their final season trying to get into the playoffs after missing out by a point last season in the East. And obviously Lou City, their success has been well documented in the USL Championship over the last 4+ years. And they're trying to add another chapter to their storied history this season as well. Set piece opportunity for Lou City here. Del Piccolo joined by Ownby and more Sam for company, not for too much longer. Making sure they don't take it short. Pardon me, Corbin Bone with them as well. Ownby there on the right side of your screen, looking to run into the penalty area here. Bone will take it. He's looking for Ownby, at least in the area. And Kyle Morton was there for St. Louis. Watts back to Speedy Williams.
Hydration break would be like 30 minutes.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. Get the latest Select products and special offers. Visit selectsportamerica.com.
St. Louis right now doing a tremendous job of keeping Lou City from connecting in that final third.
Daniela Perret under some pressure. Sliding challenge there, out of play. It's going to stay with St. Louis as Akil Watts got a boot in there defensively. Lou City trying to change the game with their pressure here.
Yeah, anytime you're pressing up here, you're trying to make the field a lot shorter, and you can see why, because they're struggling. They're really controlling out of the back, Lou City is, and through the midfield when they have possession. But you can see once they get to that attacking third, there's not much space to work. So St. Louis is doing a tremendous job of taking channels away, taking some of their, their rhythm in that final third away. So you're going to try to press them a little higher, try to win the ball a little higher, and not have to work as hard to get, to that final third.
Just going to say, Fanuel Cavita was playing a bit of a dangerous game there, shielding it away from Lancaster, and in the end, concedes a corner. Great extra effort by one of Lou City's brightest stars, Cameron Lancaster, and it leads to a set-piece opportunity.
And obviously good to see Cameron Lancaster back in the lineup when you didn't see him on Wednesday in a big matchup against Indy 11. Your initial thought, it was the concern that it might be a long-term, week or two.
In by Jonathan Gomez, pardon me. And Jogo's corner ends up being easily dispatched by the St. Louis back line.
But once Lancaster was inserted in that Indy 11 game, you knew he was going to be heavily featured in this matchup.
Right there.
And these are two teams that still see each other 2 more times after this matchup. So those are big swings in points that you can get even if you drop points here. Neither team wants to. In regards to you want to get the 3, but you still have opportunities out there with 2 games against Indy 11, 2 games against St. Louis.
Fantastic from Ownby here to the byline, crossed into the penalty area, I should say, towards the goal, really. Fanuel Cavita with a crucial intervention. It's out for a corner. And Lou City are starting to put a stamp on this first half.
And that's what they're going to have to start seeing is some of those outside forwards dropping in a little deeper, receiving and a little higher up in that final third, and maybe taking a step towards that back line and pull them out so that they can find a little bit more space in behind in that dangerous area.
And Gomez takes for Lou City. He'll take it short to Bone. Lancaster whips one into the penalty area. Offside appeal. Not given. Play continues. Ownby. Lofts one in. Header comes in, and it's a beautiful goal for Lou City. Brian Ownby set it up, and Sean Tosh heads it in. And Lou City on the road for the first time since March lead inside half an hour.
And really unfortunate for St. Louis because you really control the tempo for the most part in this first 30 minutes. But here's the issue with some of these set pieces is when you have everybody forward and you have a big center back like Tosh still up there, you have those second chance opportunities to float a ball in and still have it. We've seen it with Speedy Williams a couple times in the past with some set piece opportunities. But anytime you have all of those numbers inside the 18-yard box and you could send one back in, it's going to be dangerous. And unfortunately there, Morton just couldn't get across to the right to keep it out of the back of the net.
It's Sean Tosh's first goal of the season. Couldn't have timed it any better, and he gives Lou City the lead as we head into our first hydration break here in the first half. What a perfectly timed goal, what a perfectly timed ball in by Brian Ownby, who sets it up, and St. Louis find themselves behind here with 30 minutes gone in the first half. Well, after the start we saw from St. Louis, I think that was a little bit of a surprise. The great response from Lou City, not so much, but how quickly they've turned it around.
And St. Louis, you've been here before where you're down a goal. We talked about trying to score early and scoring first, but you've already proven against a very good defensive team in Pittsburgh that you can come back. And so I don't think there's much concern. Obviously, you don't want to go down one goal, but you have the ability to get back in this game, and you really have been playing well. It's just unfortunate that you give up a second chance opportunity off a set piece.
Don't miss a minute of the action in 2020. Sign up today and get all alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for St. Louis Football Club and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores, plus get reminders on St. Louis's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Well, the first maybe 15, 20 minutes, St. Louis looked like they were knocking at the door every few minutes to create a chance, and it's Lou City who have absorbed some of that pressure, and they've landed the first blow.
And you can see what that pressure from that front three really does. It caused a lot of havoc in a 5 to 10 minute spell, and you saw Lou City create a number of set piece opportunities and corners.
St. Louis trying to respond immediately here as Ben Lunt will gobble that up as the ball went over the head of Russell Cicerone.
And if you're St. Louis, you're still realizing that Lou City has not found a good tempo of possession, has not found a lot of dangerous seams in the attacking portion of their game. So you're doing really well. You just got to break them down in that final third and keep developing those runs.
Of course, Lou City in the midst of their best spell of the season. Again, they were off to that 1-3 start. And again, played most of their games at home as an ambitious shot comes in from some distance there.
And those are those moments that against Pittsburgh, and now here we've seen it here in the first half, that they struggle to build out. And that's where can you get Umar, Fall, Wharton to check in maybe a little bit earlier to get that ball off the back line and help them out.
Earn, save, spend, and learn with Greenlight, the debit card to kids that parents manage by app. Sign up today at greenlightcard.com and get 1 month free. Since that 1-3 start, Lou City hasn't lost. 3 wins and a draw. And they're on their way so far. We got the early goal from Shantosh. Manuel Kavita comes up and uses his imagination to get out of that situation, as does Russell Cicerone, though it's a great tackle away from him by Akil Watts. Sam for St. Louis. Able to find Wallfall, and then Wallfall gives it away to Watts on the near side. Watts has Ownby with him. And Ownby does the smart move, pressure, and wins a throw.
And that ball, the Wallfall, that got him out of pressure, that's what you're going to have to keep doing. You're going to have to find those 15, 20, 25-yard balls that break, you know, 2 good lines of pressure from Lou City, and then you'll be able to get in the attack. Obviously, unfortunate giveaway there by Wallfall with the overlapping run coming in. But those are the balls. They're going to have to find the seam. They're going to have to find the angles out. And once you break them, you're going to have some opportunities right in front of that back line and right behind Speedy Williams from Lou City to go at some of the defenders.
Umar still has that mask on after suffering a facial fracture earlier this season. Dare I say it's Richard Hamilton-esque. Looks like the old Detroit Pistons star had a similar mask on. Looks good on Umar, though I'm sure he doesn't like wearing it just because of the fact that he's got that injury, but sometimes a mask looks good. It's that double positive, right? It's healing you and it looks good. Look
Absolutely.
good, play good. And obviously Umar's been so important to that midfield for St. Louis this season. Seen a lot of this man, Akil Watts, on this near side so far tonight, making things happen for Lou City.
Lou City has seemed to find a little bit more space and a little more opportunity on their right side, St. Louis's left side. So, you know, when we talked to Coach Trichu earlier this week, he really emphasized his team pushing Lou City in space that was uncomfortable for Lou City. And, you know, where that space is, you know, make it where they're not dangerous. And so see how that adjustment comes about, because obviously Lou City is seeing something or finding space on that right side.
Bone initially, and all is switched over towards Ownby, at least in the general area. Morton there, the goalkeeper. Here's Watts. Williams. Big 1-2 back to Watts. And the goal scorer, Shantosh, will reset things at the back. Gomez. Pressure from Kyle Gregg, who scored that crucial goal in first half stoppage time in Pittsburgh for that weather delay. Could be a chance here for Bone. He assesses his options and can't find a teammate. Yola Pere trying to find Cicerone. It's not cleared. Lancaster's in on goal here. It's Lancaster, and he blasts it over the top. Lovely, intricate link-up play from Lou City.
Very fortunate to get out of that one without giving up a goal. Those are those moments where I just wish St. Louis would find and complete the outlet. There you go. Lancaster doesn't miss a lot of those inside the 18-yard box. It's this link-up play coming out of the back that St. Louis they're seeing the pass. It's really just the execution that needs to follow.
Coach John Hackworth, you see him there. He always makes sure to mention that it's not just about Cameron Lancaster on this team. Obviously, they missed him a lot last year due to injury, but anytime he's in there, he normally produces, and it's not just about him. This is a Lou City team that's deep, and John Hackworth's made a point to us as well. Not just deep in numbers, but deep in quality. It's a team that really 1 through 18, there's a ton of quality in everybody. When you look at the bench and you see Masoso, you see Sharpie, you look at a guy in Oscar Jimenez, Abdujam as well, all guys that could come off and make an impact for Lou City. And Napa Masoso was one of the guys that John Hackworth mentioned as, you know, a guy that can do so much for our team. He's, you know, not even in the starting 11 tonight. Just shows you the depth on this Lou City team and the depth and quality that they have, as he mentioned.
And he mentioned that's going to be a strength that really carries them through this group, and especially this stretch where, like we've mentioned, they played on Wednesday, they play this Saturday. They go on a stretch where these games, they mean a lot, and then you gotta show up with the depth and the quality, like you mentioned.
Opino there on the far side was struggling to get past Paris G, who stood his ground well defensively.
It does look like Lou City sat at least that first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sat back a little bit, really kind of looked at what St. Louis was trying to put together through the back and through the midfield, and then now they're really attacking with numbers, with good levels of numbers defensively, and really causing some problems for St. Louis.
Omby gets into the penalty area here. Omby nearly skipped past and got all the way through there. Crucial couple of challenges there to weave him away from the goal. Del Piccolo finds Watts. Watts lofts it towards the back post. Opino pushes off on G and is penalized.
And you go back to that match that St. Louis had at Pittsburgh. You talk to a lot of people, the fans and people that have watched that game. That first half with Pittsburgh, it was very similar in regards to, I think a lot of St. Louis fans were down 2-0 at Pittsburgh. That's going to be a tough go of things in getting back in the game, and the momentum was so skewed towards Pittsburgh. And then you go into a second half where now everybody's talking about, wow, St. Louis should have ended up with the 3 points. So it's almost like that momentum right now that Lou City is really playing that front foot, creating some dangerous opportunities.
Here come Lou City again here. The ball, though, lofted towards Omby. Easily gobbled up by Morton, although Omby appreciates the thought with a thumbs up. Sean Tosh, of all people, opened the scoring. This was the sequence there where Kyle Morton almost handed a goal to Lou City on a silver platter. That, again, another great example of that pressure from Lou City that's really dominated the second part of this first half. Gregg did well there to hold up the play. There's Wall Fall. Finds Paris G, who assesses his options. Lofts into the penalty area towards Gregg. And Lunt leaps highest to get it.
But this St. Louis team is really a team that's shown that they can really grow into games where momentum sways so one way or the other with a team where, it looks like Lou City has a lot of momentum, a lot of, danger in the final third, but St. Louis has proven that they can grab that momentum right back.
Free kick was given to St. Louis here. Here's Kavita, the captain for St. Louis. Daniela Perret pressured by Watts, forced back to Kavita. Daniela Perret made 5 appearances with the Canadian national team in his career thus far. Cicerone, good ball in. Gregg, if it was a little bit lower, or maybe if he'd anticipated it, maybe could have gotten up for that. It was a great idea by Cicerone, but the chance goes by for St. Louis. St. Louis pushing up a little bit more here towards the end of this first half as it's played all the way back towards Sam Fink. Call the team at Courtney's Heating and Cooling today so you can sleep in comfort tonight. Call 636-36-COMFY. Here comes St. Louis again, down a goal towards the end of this first half. Daniela Perret runs onto it. Cicerone. Sam. Wharton. Blocked on its way through towards Cicerone. Back to Wharton. First time ball in. It was cleared by Del Piccolo, only as far as Umar in the end, who skies it over the top. bit ambitious in the end from Umar.
And you like what St. Louis is doing when the ball gets wide, but there are going to be opportunities where they drive at that back line of Lou City, and they're gonna be able to keep it central and not have to force it wide. I think there's some teams that kind of feel like when you hit the attacking third, you gotta always force it wide to open space up. But as this game develops, you know, St. Louis is gonna start seeing some opportunities there central inside the 18.
Openo for Lou City. Cuts in on G. Lofts it into the penalty area. Ownby with a touch. Gagnola Perret was there to clear it. Gagnola Perret will send it all the way back to Morton. Cicerone as well to find Greg. Lovely ball, Cicerone. Gagnola Perret now on the near side. Outside of his boot to more Sam. Cicerone tries to switch fields. Can Wharton keep that in? Yes, he can. G placed it into the penalty area. It almost fell for Cicerone, and it was deflected away. Lou City were trying to counter there with Lancaster. Fink stood him up in the midfield.
The fourth official has indicated 2 minutes of added time to the first half. Need more
confirmation
time in your
there of
business? Contact Paycor to handle your
2 minutes of
payroll,
added time.
human
Stoppage time is
resources
presented by Paycor. Need more time in your business? Contact Paycor to handle your payroll and human resources needs. Kavita. Reset with Umar for St. Louis. Lou City opened the scoring with a goal in the 30th minute from Sean Tosh. His first goal of the season has Lou City in front on the road. Their first road game since the restart, and their first road game since March 7th. That was a 1-0 win as well, by the way, for Lou City way back in the beginning of March, and I think John Hackworth wouldn't be against the same script following, but the way St. Louis has played, it seems like we might get a few more in this one. Here's Gagnola Perret in the final minute of the first half. Lovely dummy by Wall-Fall. All the way out for Greg here. Finding a chance for Cicerone, and Sean Tosh there doing it on the defensive end. And for Lou City.
And that's good pace from St. Louis. They broke a line of pressure, going side to side a little quicker. We go back to that. The services in have been dangerous. The runners have been good. They've been finding dangerous space. And you earn yourself a corner right before half.
Sam will whip this in. Whistle went before the ball was kicked. Might have been some extracurriculars off the ball here. Ishmir Pekmik, the center referee, all over it, making sure nothing too physical goes on inside the penalty area. And more Sam will get a second chance from this corner kick. At the end of the first half. Going towards the back post, Kavita trying to keep this in for St. Louis. Did on the second try, but I think it went out before that. And it looks like this will be a goal kick for Lou City. That'll likely wrap up what's been an exciting first half here in Fenton, Missouri. St. Louis were the aggressors. Seems like a while ago now, first 15 minutes, but it's been pretty much all Lou City since, despite this little flare at the end from the home side.
And going back to earning that corner right there at the end, you could see Lou City's just patient. So you're just going to have to break them down with a couple little quick combinations.
Well, it's been a fun first half. So far, St. Louis 0, Lou City 1. Sean Tosh, the defender, opened the scoring in the 30th minute. His first goal of the season separates the sides at the half. St. Louis had the good of it early on. Lou City have dominated since. And then a late flurry from St. Louis certainly could show what a good second half we have to come. We'll take a break. We'll look at St. Louis's history after the break. At the moment, it's St. Louis 0, Lou City 1.
It's a challenging market. You're well aware of that. Edward Jones is too, which is why we're here, ready to listen and ready to help you find opportunity, something we've been doing since 1922 in good markets and bad.
So, let's talk.
Edward Jones, it's time for investing to feel individual.
That's life. That's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on your dreams. Wait, you're and if I didn't think it was worth one try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly.
When facing a divorce or other family law matter, you may feel lost and betrayed by those you loved. Although you may feel alone, it's important to have hope. At Stange Law Firm, we limit our practice to family law matters because we understand that nothing is more important than your family. We are there when you need us most. No matter the family law issue, we are here to help you rebuild your life.
Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky back here with you at the half. St. Louis 0, Lou City 1. It's been a really fun first half so far between these two. Obviously, some tough news released earlier this week about the future of St. Louis Football Club. This is going to be the last season of the club, obviously at the USL Championship level, or really in any regard, obviously, but the St. Louis soccer at the USL Championship level will cease to exist after this season. We talked to Steve Tritchu about it. He was obviously, you know, he had known for a little bit longer than the rest of us, but he had talked to his players. They had a players-only meeting about it, and they just said, listen, we're going to go for it anyway, and could have had the season end right there, but obviously they want to fight for a championship. And here's the St. Louis president, Patrick Berry, who chimed in with a statement as well. Naturally, we're disappointed the club will not continue. However, we are proud of what we've accomplished and the impact we've had on soccer in St. Louis. Our goal was to bring professional soccer back to St. Louis to reestablish St. Louis at the national level. We accomplished that and much more. They sure did, no question about that. They've made St. Louis and really this fantastic community in St. Louis, such a great sports town, love soccer again, and it's been fantastic to see the growth, which is part of the bittersweetness of the history, or rather of the news this week. As you take a look at the history of St. Louis Football Club, joined the USL back in 2015, made the conference quarterfinals in 2018. Obviously, on August 25th came the news that the team would be folding. The Open Cup success as well, made the quarterfinals of the competition a season ago. And the final two meetings between Lou City and St. Louis will be on the 12th and the 26th of September. Statement here from the fantastic fan base, the St. Louligans. Fantastic supportership here in St. Louis. Heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, utterly tragic. We've said and felt it all week. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Just a fantastic supporters group, one of the best really in all of the United States for soccer. No question about that. As we take a look at what's coming up for St. Louis, their next 5 meetings in the USL Championship. Obviously, all going to be within Group E. Mentioned the 2 big ones, Eric, between them and Lou City that are going to be big moving forward. Also, 2 big ones at home against Sporting KC2, and then the daunting task of going to Indianapolis to taking on Indy 11.
Yeah, all these matchups are going to count moving forward here in this Group E. It's such a tight group, and all the points matter.
Those 2 really between them and Lou City. Never know, including this one tonight, could really dictate who goes to the playoffs. Take a break here. When we come back, we'll look at the group and some of the best from around the USL Championship. At the half, St. Louis 0, Lou City 1.
the United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Passing here, fans enjoying it. Touch now, and the Rowdies attacking, shooting, and scoring! What a goal!
Smith able to get forward. The one-time cross into the area, cleared away. Palmer keeps this one alive. He's going to have a go, and he scores! Great goal from Palmer. It is 2-1 for Orange County Soccer Club.
Good for Wole, use his body. One time to Mo, what a strike! Something from nothing.
Never seems to put a foot wrong. Here's the Guru. Looping ball into the box. Bouchard will head it back. Oh, and it's a beautiful goal from Suarez.
Played forward. Davis tried to slip it through. Does so to Sierakowski. Sierakowski with the chip and the goal.
Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky back here with you. The Edward Jones halftime score, St. Louis 0, Lou City 1. Let's take a look at the Group E standings, how this is really so important. Every game the rest of the way, Eric, so vital in these standings. If St. Louis can come back and win, they'll leap ahead into that second playoff spot.
Big 45 minutes coming up for St. Louis. Kansas City 2 tied with 1-1 with FC Tulsa. So they have an opportunity to gain some points here as well. So, and then Indy 11 idle this weekend, or tonight. And just watching these teams play, everybody will be at 10 games played by the end of the night.
Let's take a look at the upcoming USL Championship schedule. I always love when with the Florida teams get together. Tampa Bay and Miami is going to be a really interesting matchup there. And obviously, interesting to see what happens with Memphis, the way their season has gone as well. Charlotte's certainly a player in the East as well. A lot of good matchups to look forward to here.
It is, and that Miami FC game, led to a coaching change after that first matchup with the Rowdies. So they've looked different since Paul Dalglish took over. So a lot of good matchups moving forward, and a lot of groups that are their points on the road at home. They're going to be important.
You got nothing to do on Tuesday, by the way. Watch Pittsburgh. They're a really fun team and definitely are worth watching throughout the rest of this season. Let's look at the USL Championship news and notes. Speaking of fun to watch, Solomon Asante continues to be one of the best in the league year in and year out.
That whole Phoenix Rising team is just unbelievable. Solomon Asante, Junior Flemings, definitely earns the accolades this week, and just a good matchup tonight as well.
Obviously, everyone talks about Tampa Bay and how well they're doing. San Antonio's got to get some love here. What a season they've had so far.
From the restart, both these teams have been incredible. So, they just continue to rack up points. They continue to play well, and finding results in different ways, whether you're dominating possession, whether you're just winning in transition, really being a professional team and getting professional results is important to those two teams.
They're the final two unbeaten clubs in the USL Championship so far. So take a look at the USL Championship scoreboard. Charleston at the moment on top of Tampa Bay. So we're just up in the Rowdies a little bit, and they're in a little bit of trouble right now against Charleston. Big win for New York Red Bulls, too, to turn it around against Loudoun to get hopefully back into that race.
Yeah, another team that's looking to crawl back into that top 2 spot. Obviously, Birmingham's been a good team since the restart. So, and Charlotte was starting to put it back together. So Birmingham really taking it to them with the 4-1 win.
A bit of a wake-up call there for Hartford Athletic as well. We'll take a break here. Halftime highlights and stats are coming up next between St. Louis and Lou City.
Do you think he's ready for a debit card?
Mm-hmm.
He's on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
The Greenlight app and debit card makes it easy to manage your kids' money and brings you peace of mind.
He has to do it.
Mm-hmm.
With Greenlight, kids form smart money habits that prepare them for their futures.
Did you know about this?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Greenlight, all the tools you need to raise financially smart kids.
This year we developed Ale d'Or, which is a beer brewed exclusively for the St. Louis Football Club. We've been partners with STLC for coming up on 3 years now. St. Louis Football Club, got some Schlafly, call out our Luligan friends on the side. You'll be able to find Ale d'Or obviously out at Soccer Park and then at your local grocery in and around St. Louis, so we're really excited to get it out there in the market. We're excited to debut it in 16-ounce cans for the upcoming season.
When facing a divorce or other family law matter, you may feel lost and betrayed by those you loved. Although you may feel alone, it's important to have hope. At Stange Law Firm, we limit our practice to family law matters because we understand that nothing is more important than your family. We are there when you need us most. No matter the family law issue, we are here to help you rebuild your life.
Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky back here with you, getting you set for the second half between St. Louis and Lou City. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. It's been a good one so far, no question about that, Eric. And is really St. Louis who were on the front foot from the get-go here, and they were able to create an early chance.
And really, yep, you said it, a game that St. Louis came out and played, really put them on their front foot. But here, Cameron Lancaster, great first opportunity, really coming out of nothing and take a half volley nothing right there. Morton, great save.
What a chance that could have been. Obviously, St. Louis then had a flurry of set pieces. All of them could have led to goals.
And they've had a number of opportunities with this far post runner, whether it's getting separation and finding it, but that was their best chance on a set piece. They've created a number of corners, but really, you know, it was Lou City getting back in this game and finding some space here on that right side.
Big chance there. Fanuel Kavita has been big in the first half for St. Louis. Big job, or big time stepping in there defensively, and then of all people, Sean Tosh pops up with a goal. Brian Omby sets it up.
Yeah, anytime you can get that second chance opportunity off a corner kick, you have all those center backs, you have all those ball winners in the air still in the 18, and here you see Sean Tosh finding the end of it and finding the back of the net.
His first goal of the season. Couldn't have timed it any better. But Lou City then were really dominant after that. The pressure picked up, and they almost scored a second here through Lancaster.
And Lou City has really been patient with pressing, and they've put St. Louis in a number of unfortunate positions, and there Cameron Lancaster, where they were fortunate that Cameron Lancaster didn't find the back of the net there.
And then Kyle Morton almost presses the self-destruct button here for St. Louis.
And this has been something that St. Louis has struggled here in the first half, but they struggle with it against Pittsburgh as well. So really look for a second half adjustment that finds their way out of that back line.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats between these two. It's been pretty even with shots and shots on target. Possession, though, heavily in favor of St. Louis. Other than that, a relatively clean and competitive game.
It has been. I just want to see St. Louis here in the second half, maybe up the tempo in regards to the decision-making and the link-up play, because you could see when they break down Lou City a little quicker, they find the opposite side of the field, they find an open player out wide, and so, you know, Lou City has been patient, letting them build out, you know, slow the game down, but when St. Louis can find that little combination that speeds up play, they've become very dangerous.
Teams will obviously switch sides for the second half. St. Louis in their home greens, and Lou City in their road whites. So far in the battle for the Kings Cup, it's been pretty much all Lou City. 5-2-4 record since they first met. St. Louis won their first time ever at Lou City earlier this season. They're trying to make it 2 for 2 so far, but they've got a little bit of a mountain to climb in this second half. Suwahi sends it all the way back to Ben Luntz, the goalkeeper. Be interested to see what St. Louis does at the start of this second half, looking for some of that same momentum that they grabbed from the get-go at the very start of the game, where like every time they got a set piece, every time they created an opportunity, it almost led to a goal.
And this is such a resilient group. When we talked to Coach Trichu earlier this week, that was one of the biggest strengths of this team. And coming in through a week that has, led to unfortunate news, this is a team that just seems to keep adapting to what this game needs to, where they need to find the success. So really look for this next 45 minutes to be tough for Lou City.
Ball was played towards the penalty area. Kind of a appeal. Lancaster thought he was fouled. Fink clears for St. Louis. Kyle Gregg's hold-up play so far in this game has been an underlying storyline so far. Here's Cicerone. Umar turns out of trouble. Here's Fink. G. Lovely into the penalty area. More Sam cuts it back. Sam still goes. Deflected and cleared. Lovely piece of technique there, and more Sam almost slashed through the entire Lou City defense on his own. Here's Umar. Sends it right back into the penalty area. Nobody there really for St. Louis. Certainly nobody attacked it.
And that sequence right there is exactly what I want to see here in the second half a bit more often. You see Sam Fink get his head up, and instead of going backwards to Morton, he attacks that midfield for Lou City. So they've got to step out, and that creates some space in behind those seams, so you can play the wide player, and then you can find Sam inside the 18. So really look for them to go forward a bit more and bring Lou City out.
Gagnola Pere from Cicerone. Still Gagnola Pere. Wall fall. Was under some pressure. Gagnola Pere tried to get it away. Corbin Bone there defensively, then Speedy Williams helps out for Lou City. And it's cleared away. Ryan Omby runs onto this. He set up the first goal for Lou City, fighting with Fanuel Kavita, and not many win that battle. It's Fanuel Kavita tough to deal with defensively.
There were so many moments in that first half that St. Louis didn't necessarily have to play back to Morton and have to play through the goalkeeper. They could have gone forward, and you could see Lou City patient with that ball, because as soon as that ball got played back to Morton, then they went to go press, and they found those players to really mark up and make it difficult for them to build out. So going back to that Sam Fink run, look for that a little bit more, where they could maybe bring some people out.
There was a collision there in the midfield. I think it was Umar who collided with Del Piccolo. I'm going to look at it here.
And it seems like they have an argument here. It looks like it's going against St. Louis, and it looks like it's clear foul.
Wharton, Kavita, or Sam, almost half the St. Louis team surrounding the referee. Steve Trichu asking questions here as well. Obviously, it was Paulo Del Piccolo who got the worst of it, but I think St. Louis are arguing it was a fair challenge, maybe even on both sides there. I think both seem to go for the ball, at least from my vantage point. Referee seems to have a different point of view. Looks like John Hackworth's just doing some teaching on the side here. Fans follow St. Louis Football Club and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home of the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. I know I'm one of those 8 million that tune in. So much drama week in and week out in the USL Championship. No question about that. And this is just the latest. Especially in this group, it's been wild to say the least. Gagnola Pere fouled by Onby. And those two initially were, I think, just apologizing to each other, and then it's just, all right, it's game back on again, let's go.
Got some great West Coast matchups tonight as well with Orange County and San Diego. You got Phoenix Rising playing.
Well, that's always fun, Phoenix Rising. Oof. Seems like the last couple of years, at times, they've been on a different level. Record breakers, Rick Schatz's side. They seem to be at it again this season. St. Louis wanted to take that quickly. They might have been in with a chance there if the referee had allowed that to continue. There's the goal scorer, Sean Tosh, recovering on defense there.
I know we're only 5 minutes in, but I really like the energy coming out of St. Louis. This side really already kicked off the second half, and there you can see what they're trying to do. They're playing with urgency. They want to get this equalizer to find the game winner. They're not just trying to, build up and find the equalizer late. You could see they want to find 3 points within this 45-minute span.
And they know how important it would be. Steve Tritchie told us earlier this week that with the Lou City win over Indy 11, he said, first place is not out of reach right now in this group. Everyone thought Indy 11 at one point was going to kind of run away with it. And all of a sudden, they've kind of been brought back to the pack a little bit here. Harris G into the penalty area, and it was headed just off target by Russell Cicerone, who had to battle through traffic to get his head onto that.
And I was one of those that, with Indy 11 and Tyler Pasher, you could see the great service in here in the late run. Just unfortunately didn't find frame and didn't make a save here. But I was one of those that the Indy 11 team saw them racking up points, and you see Tyler Pasher racking up goals. It got a little worrisome for the rest of the group.
In by G, Gagnola Perez centers it. It was cleared away just out of danger there by Lexi Zuahi, and then finally fully cleared out of the penalty area towards Ownby. Out for a St. Louis throw as the pressure continues to ramp up for the home side.
Here, great ball across, and then these are the balls that get really dangerous. Those second balls coming around the 6. You saw Kyle Gregg lurking there. If he could have just sent it a little bit more to the top of the 6-yard box. Kyle Gregg's right there to put it in the back of the net. And we discussed it early. We discussed it in the first half at halftime that St. Louis was the aggressors to begin this match, and they are to begin this second half, but they didn't see a goal while they were really, forcing the tempo in that first half. So really, you want to see them reward themselves here.
Sean Tosh fouling Wall Fall, and I believe booked as well for that challenge. So a caution here for Sean Tosh, as he really didn't get much of the ball, if any of it, with that late challenge.
A yellow card caution has been issued to Louisville City.
Here's the challenge by
number
Tosh.
4, Sean Tosh, in the 53rd
Never
minute.
made it to the ball, and as this game wears on, you wonder if the tough matchup on Wednesday with Indy 11 and then traveling for the first time all season, you wonder if the legs start to wear, and this is where you have the 5 substitutions that maybe Coach Hackworth's got the opportunity to, kind of continue to maybe get these minutes off the board.
Here's Gregg. The back-tracking challenge by Umar came flying in with a shot, bit ambitious in the end. And it's well wide, but again, St. Louis lurking on the edge of the penalty area.
So this initial first 10-15 minutes, St. Louis, can you find the equalizer? Mentioned it with Lou City the first time they're traveling all season. Maybe catch them. And this is where Lou City's going to take the advantage of just walking up, slowly setting up a set piece. Not only are you leading, but it gives you the ability to get your breath, slow the game down.
And again, the extra effort there by Cameron Lancaster forcing the issue, and a handball appeal. A free kick is given, and St. Louis have to be pushed back again here. But Lou City can, he said, maybe catch their breath a little bit, and obviously could create a chance from this. Here's Tosh. Gomez couldn't quite control it for Lou City. It's given back. Fink clears. Wallfall trying to shepherd it on, and it was Speedy Williams who did really well to win it back for Lou City initially, but Umar steps in defensively for St. Louis. Could this be a breakout here? Umar up ahead, trying to find more Sam. Sam runs on it. He's been pretty dangerous so far, in and around the penalty area. Lofts it towards the back post, and Gregg either didn't see it coming or didn't anticipate it quickly enough.
And that's the second time that Greg's found himself in really good position between the two center backs and just hasn't been able to get on the end of one of those services. You see Sam, squaring up against Gomez, finding that left-footed service, and Greg just in that one awkward position where he can't go backwards and get ahead on it, and then you never know if a late runner with Cicerone's coming in.
He's been a bright spot again for St. Louis, more Sam, hasn't he?
He has, and you could see his eyes light up when he can go 1 versus 1 in that final third and really create.
St. Louis have been creating, but it's Lou City's turn here. Openo into the penalty area. Fink cleared it initially. It fell for a chance there, and it's blasted over the top by Del Piccolo.
Great intervention by Fink. This could have been a disaster, especially with the rhythm that they're finding right now. And Sam Fink, I know a fan favorite, comes in, stops the attack.
And part of me, that was Corbin Bone with the attempt there, almost fell into his path. He's been so good of late for Lou City. Kyle Gregg back defensively, thought it was shoulder to shoulder. You can hear the bench not too thrilled. Kyle Gregg keeps his composure.
And I know these moments are going to get frustrating for St. Louis because they really do. They do want to push the tempo and they want to get back to, that final third. So these moments where they give up a set piece and a foul, they really might stifle that, that rhythm that they're kind of gaining right now.
Here come Lou City again here. It's a lovely run here by Watts. He could go all the way. It's a fantastic save by Morton. Boy, what a fantastic burst forward, and it nearly led to Louisville City's second goal.
Great job by Morton to keep his team in this, because even though you go down 2-0 to Pittsburgh on the road, going 2-0 here in the second half might be tough. Morton, second massive save he's made of this game. So well done. Lou City saw that back line of St. Louis drop off into their own 18. Found that pocket of space.
And again, Gomez will try to put this into a dangerous area for Lou City, or take it short instead. Better angle now for a ball into the penalty area. In by Gomez, easy for Morton.
Can you look for a quick outlet here?
Morton's certainly gonna try. Or Sam ran onto that, it was deflected, and oh boy, for a second there, that was trouble for Lou City, and they are able to bail themselves out barely that time.
Really glad Morton looked for that longer ball right there to at least push Lou City back into their own half and really create a dangerous opportunity.
You have a solid game plan for your financial future? At Edward Jones, they craft investment strategies that are as individual as you are. Umar sends it forward again. Sam, lovely control to keep that down and keep it with St. Louis. Here's Cicerone. Gagnola Pere forced back, or at least forced onto his right boot, and couldn't quite find a teammate in the penalty area. It was a great idea to try to switch to his right peg, but in the end it's over the top, looking for, I believe, more Sam.
And they're finding some of these half chances out wide and with services in, but can you start, if you're St. Louis, finding some of these chances through combination play on top of the 18 in that final third to feet?
Wharton putting the pressure on. Again, a foul helps Lou City out here a bit. Wharton not pleased with the call. Lou City can clear their lines. And Coach John Hackworth, Lou City, told us earlier this week that in the loss to St. Louis at home earlier this season, he thought they dominated. He thought they were by far the better side. He thought that they should have won maybe by a couple of goals in the end. He thought his team created so many good chances, just couldn't put them away. And obviously St. Louis got the goal and were able to hold on to it. But St. Louis have been more than up to the fight this time around. Cicerone fires one, and it's saved by Lunt. Falls for Sam here. More Sam is assessing his options here. And in the end, initially lost it, got it back. and then gave it away. And again, Yolat Pere fouls Brian Omby just outside the penalty area.
And when you talk to Coach Steve Tritchu about the first matchup as well, and here you can see the chance by Cicerone, great chance, good save. Unfortunately, nobody there for St. Louis to pick up that second opportunity. But talking to Coach Tritchu about that first matchup and then discussing, you know, having this and 2 more matchups, he said it, both teams are much improved and different and look different now than they did in that first matchup.
Antoine Openo putting pressure on Paris G, who holds his ground. Sam helps defensively. Gomez, centering pass. Lancaster was falling back, nearly got enough on that to maybe trouble the goalkeeper, but Fall outlets it for St. Louis. Can Cicerone get there? Not before Tosh. And it's out for a throw-in on the far side. Boy, if it keeps going like this, the scoreline is not going to stay the way it is right now. You feel one way or another, another goal is coming in this game at least.
Absolutely, you could feel St. Louis pushing to get that equalizer, and then you could feel Lou City seeing if they can get that second goal and maybe put this game away.
It's a fantastic run earlier by Akil Watts, who's on the ball now for Lou City. Almost scored on his own there, dashing and slashing through defenders. Fink for St. Louis. Morton to Sam. Sam had his pass picked off by Bone. Openo does really well there to cut into the space for Lou City. Del Piccolo. Onby, who assisted the opening goal from Sean Tosh. Del Piccolo scored the winner against Indy. Tried to get it back from Lancaster, but it was broken up. Here's Fall. More Sam trying to lead the charge for St. Louis. Wall Fall in behind for More Sam. Big opportunity here. More Sam is in, and he scores! More Sam on a breakaway. Levels it up for St. Louis. And with his second goal of the season, it's 1-1 in Fenton, Missouri. That St. Louis FC goal delivered by Domino's, and it was delivered on a plate for More Sam to run in and equalize.
And you felt it coming, the energy, what they were looking to do, St. Louis was getting it. And then we talked about it earlier, Sam has been dangerous this whole game. And then look at Wall Fall, great little outside of the foot, bent him into the run, and he knows what to do with it. Right into that upper part of that right side. Lund couldn't do anything about it. And it's such a good reward for a team that's been playing well. Really well in the first half, and then coming out here in the second half, getting a goal, the equalizer early enough where now that they've got that momentum, you mentioned it earlier, we both didn't think this was a game that was going to finish 1-0. There was more goals here, and there was more action here to come.
What a pass that was by Wall Fall. Outside of the right boot, on a plate for More Sam. That's one of the few where you could argue the pass was as good as the finish. Gomez. Lou City now looking to respond, as St. Louis have found an equalizer.
St. Louis FC goal, his second of the season.
Fink under some pressure, finds Morton. Now the last 25 minutes or so are going to be very, very interesting.
Now even more so, where I was about to make the comment of there hasn't been any substitutions yet.
Sam from Fall.
So you wonder if some of these substitutions are going to be difference makers, because you have, for Lou City, you have Masoso on the bench that didn't start the match, that he's been dangerous up top. And then for St. Louis, you have Tyler Blackwood that was back in training this week and is available off the bench. And he's still tied for the lead in goals with 3 on this team. So, you know, coming down to substitutions, especially with a 1-1 draw, you've got some of these strings to maybe, you know, push, buttons to push, and you can make a difference in this match.
A little bit of pressure on Morton here as Omby tried to go in there. There's a penalty appeal as well for the Lou City players, not given by the referee. Play continues on. There's a foul further upfield as Zawahi thought he was able to easily regain possession there. Del Piccolo is incensed for Lou City.
That would have been a disaster for Morton. As much as we talk about the opportunities that he's saved, those are 2 chances that he's almost given away. So the moments that he's saved his team, he's also done. This is his second chance of almost giving the ball away, and he gets very fortunate because I could see referees going either way. Ownby really putting his body between the ball and Morton. Very, very fortunate, especially just now getting the equalizer. Momentum's going your way. You could see Morton hasn't been comfortable all night with the ball at his feet and with that pressure coming.
Good sportsmanship there between Wallfall and Paolo Del Piccolo, the captain, I should say, for Lou City after their entanglement on the St. Louis side of midfield. Fink tries a lovely switch ball over there to Gagnola Pere and finds him easily. And a lovely give and go. Cicerone to Gagnola Pere, who slipped as he tried to place it into the penalty area. It ends up falling here for Umar. Here's Umar again. Centering pass, and it was punched away by Lund. Falls for the goal scorer, Sam. It's just been, so crafty on the ball tonight. Another example of it there.
And I like what Sam Fink's doing here in the second half. He's really spreading the field out.
Falling behind, he nearly found Greg. That's one of the things people raved about Wallfall last year when he was so good distributing the ball. Here's the chance here that Umar nearly set up. And again, Kyle Gregg in a good position, just not able to get any contact out of it for St. Louis. Good battle here between Umar and Del Piccolo, and they are having some extras here. Just shows you how much this means for both teams. Both teams are giving it. There always saw that scrap between Opano and Paris G just a few moments ago as well. Both teams are not going to let this one go without a fight. And especially now that it's 1-1. Both teams are fighting with everything they've got. This looks like there's going to be a change here for Lou City.
For Louisville City FC. Leaving the game,
substitution brought to you by Signa Napo Masoso, one of the difference makers off the bench tonight for Lou City, and looks like it's going to be Del Piccolo who makes way.
And a player that is really building into a new role on this team, not typically an outside forward. John Hackworth really saw that in him and has made the adjustment. And it looks like he's gone in at midfield for Del Piccolo.
Maybe that was an opportunity for John Hackworth to settle Del Piccolo down, or could have been coming anyway, you never know. Chance for Lou City here. Nearly fell for, might have been Bone there, and I think he was penalized for handling it, and he was. Free kick for St. Louis going the other way here.
And with Masoso, you get a player that's so dynamic on the ball, so maybe you do move some pieces around. You get Sam Fink, you get that back line for St. Louis moving, because he doesn't, Masoso does such a great job of going at defenders. So see how that develops.
Can Lou City break through the back line? They nearly did. Crucial challenge by Paris G, or could have been a runaway here for Lou City.
That was one completed pass away from being a 2v1.
Just the overall talent on display in this match. We've seen some really good stuff from a lot of guys on both sides tonight. Just the overall quality has been on display. Gomez resets. Zuwahi switches fields to Toshu. Scored the opener that's been canceled out for Lou City by Moore Sam, his second goal of the season for St. Louis. Masoso's first touch. Ownby. Masoso, Speedy Williams, who now has the captain's armband after Del Piccolo was substituted off for Lou City. Bone.
Hey, Sweeney, where's the last call?
Find the overlapping run from Watts, who does well and wins a corner kick on the far side for the road side.
They found their first goal on a second opportunity on a set piece, so see if Lou City goes short again. Builds it around.
And some good distribution from corners so far from Jogo, Jonathan Gomez. Listen towards the near post, and it was nearly on target. Could have been another big opportunity in there for Lou City, but in the end, they couldn't hit the target.
Good service by Gomez. They've tested almost every area in the 18-yard box on these set pieces, near post, far post. Gone short a number of times.
Might have been Sean Tosh again who was in the area, nearly getting a head onto that, making Kyle Morton think about it. Lou City win it back again. Watts helping defensively. Here's Tosh. Greg putting the pressure on and wins it back. In a dangerous area here for St. Louis. Cicerone. Centering pass deflected, and it nearly fell for Wharton, who heads it out of play. If he gets a better touch on it, it's surely 2-1 St. Louis. But he just couldn't quite square it up.
Such great effort by Kyle Gregg to turn that ball over from Sean Tosh.
Number 9, Russell Cicerone.
I wonder what Gregg saw from the Sam matchup after he won the ball. Great ball in here from Cicerone. And these are those chances that St. Louis has come across. You see Gregg pressing it.
And
he gets his head up. Sam
13,
is 1v1. If he plays that ball in, still gets a quality opportunity here.
Substitution here brought to you by Cigna. Kadeem Dakers is on. Russell Cicerone is off. Kadeem Dakers, of course, formerly of Lou City. So it's a former Lou City player coming on here. As Russell Cicerone, who nearly just set up St. Louis's second, comes off. There's a great piece up on stlouisfc.com, the club website, from Kadeem Dakers, talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, talking about his experience when he was in high school as a soccer player with racism. You have a chance, go take a look at that. He really spoke from the heart on the club website. It's certainly worth your time if you have a chance. He really wrote a fantastic piece, as Todd Wharton there was booked for a challenge. First player for St. Louis to be yellow carded tonight. Of course, Kadeem Dakers can certainly make an impact as part of that deep St. Louis bench that they have, especially with attacking players. Lancaster poked it away before Wharton could touch it. Score the winning goal at Maryville with personalized education, nationally ranked academics, and Division II athletics. Learn more at maryville.edu. Maryville, many connections, one you. It's 1-1 in St. Louis and Lou City. Ball lofted in, easy for Kyle Morton to capture. It's still 15 minutes plus stoppage time to find a potential winner here in such a huge Group E tilt. Indy 11, who are just sitting and kind of taking it in at the moment, have one extra game played on 19 points at the top of the group. If Lou City do win tonight, they will be level on points with Indy 11. And of course, if St. Louis find a way to win, they'll jump ahead of Lou City and go into second place. It's, by the way, Sporting KC2 now leading the game against FC Tulsa by 2-1. So if Sporting KC2 can win, that makes this group even tighter, because Sporting KC2 would be on 13 points. We head into our second half hydration break here. Last time these two met, back on July 18th. It was a good one in Louisville, and it was a big win for St. Louis. Their first ever win at Lou City. Tyler Blackwood scored the winner. St. Louis were able to hold on for a 1-0 win. Again, we mentioned earlier, Coach Hackworth thought that Lou City should have gotten more out of that game, but St. Louis left Louisville with 3 huge points at the time. And of course, in this Kings Cup rivalry, that win is even sweeter for St. Louis, breaking that ground, making some history, especially in what's turning out to be their last season as a club. It's fantastic to see them get that bit of history under their belt before it's all said and done.
And you wonder here with 15 minutes left, tactically, we go back to the substitutions that each team has left. With 2 more meetings between these 2 clubs, do you show your hand? Do you make a substitution that shows each other what you're looking to do, or do you really just try to close this game out? You're still going to use the substitutions, but do you see Tyler Blackwood come on for St. Louis with 10 minutes or so left? There's just substitutions out there that, maybe can kind of get those, that 3 points. And so, but you wonder if with the other 2 matchups looming, you wonder if each coach is kind of thinking, well, maybe I'll save this later down the line if we really get to a point where in this group 3 points is what we've got to make and what we've got to get.
On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, and Rodney Marsh. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with the action from MLS, the Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League. Sirius XM FC, channel 157 on your Sirius XM radio, and the Sirius XM app. Plenty of drama still to come between St. Louis and Lou City. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, our fantastic crew here with you. Looking forward to the last few minutes here. Boy, a bit of miscommunication there, almost. I think that was Zuwahi, who was not quite on the same page with Ben Lund there in goal, but in the end didn't come back to haunt them. More touch there from Gomez. Umar ran onto it initially, almost lost it. Paris G regains. Does well to find more Sam, who's been so good on this side in the second half. Wins a throw-in as well. Fights off 2 Lou City defenders to do so. Of course, he's got the goal that has leveled the scores. Came back in the 64th minute.
And with that mistake out of the back for Lou City, you just wonder if either of these teams have a mistake in them that might cost them. But you do see 2 teams that are very confident in their identity, very confident in what they do on the field. And so that's unlikely, because you also know that if you're going to make the playoffs, you're going to play yourself in. You're not going to, especially in this Group E, you're not going to stumble in the top 2. You're going to have to go out and get points. And, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but St. Louis has Sporting Kansas City 2 next. So, you're going to have to play yourself into these 2 top spots in Group E. So it is 2 teams that play very well and have that balance.
And certainly whoever gets out of this group is going to be dangerous in the USL Championship playoffs, at the very least battle-tested. Oscar Umar looking for Wharton in the penalty area. Oh, Gagnola Pere was pushed over. Both players came up a little bit shaken there. Might have been, at least at first glance, a head-to-head. And Sean Tosh is actually bleeding a little bit above his eye there. Both guys went for the ball. The referee was going to play it on, so it was fair on both sides. Both just came up a little slow there after both went for the ball and ended up colliding.
Very unfortunate collision. You hope both players are okay. As you can see, Lou City's athletic trainers already signaling for a substitution. Really just 2 players going for a 50-50 ball, crashing into each other.
Looked fair on both sides there, and it just shows you how competitive this game has been. Another microcosm of that, and like you said, Eric, hopefully both guys are okay.
Never want to see this in 2 players that have played very well tonight. Just hope both are okay.
There's Gagnola Pere, who Been so dynamic for St. Louis on the wing this season. Sean Tosh, a stout defender, scored the opening goal in this game for Lou City way back in the 30th minute. Really was right in the middle of the dominant part of this game.
And Sean Tosh has been the dangerous one on the set pieces as well. As you can see, the St. Louis athletic trainer also signaling for a substitution here. Such a competitive matchup. And you said it, whoever the two teams that make it out of this group, they're gonna be battle tested. And for the 6 games remaining after this, every game is gonna be a playoff game for the most part.
Looks like Lou City might be getting quite a few changes ready here.
Even though you see them wrapped up, Sean Tosh, you can't imagine that they're going to keep him on the field.
Does have the pink wrap there. Good sportsmanship there between the two who collided, Tosh and Gagnola Pere. Especially this late in the game. Could easily see both guys coming off here, but again, it's up to the medical teams here to make the best judgment.
Yeah, and it seems like both signaled for substitutions.
There's the line, if you will, of Lou City players getting set to come on. Looks to be Abadou Jam. He's going to come on first.
Substitution for Louisville.
Looks like it's going to be Antoine
Leaving the game,
Opino,
number 29, Antoine
who makes
Opino.
way. Jam enters
Entering the
the
game,
pitch.
number 14, Abdou Thiam.
Cameron Lancaster going to come off as well. And it looks like it's going to be Luke Spencer who will take his place. Those substitutions all brought to you by Cigna. St. Louis still waiting to see what they're going to do. But again, 3 changes there for Lou City. Job Spencer.
Also leaving the game for Louisville, number 17, Cameron Ladcaster.
Coming on,
game,
and as you
9,
see there,
Spencer.
Jimmy Ockford
And
was the
leaving
third
game,
man to
number
come onto the
4,
pitch.
Sean Tosh. Entering the game, number
Lou City,
5,
Sean
Jimmy
Tosh
Ockford. In the 84th minute.
did get substituted in that bit there as Gagnola Pere is being helped to the sidelines here after a good
Substitution
performance
for St.
tonight.
Louis FC. Leaving the game, number 28, Jeremy Gagnon Lapare.
So the confirmation there is that it's
And
going to
entering
be
the game, number
Rich Bryan
23, Rich Bryan.
who will come on for Gagnola Pere. And it looks like Tyler Blackwood, the joint leading goal scorer on the team, is going to come on as well for St. Louis. Morsan was in a
Also leaving
fantastic
the
game
game for St. Louis FC.
for
number
St. Louis.
10,
Will make way after a
Morsan.
fantastic performance.
The equalizing goal. And with both teams making a slew of substitutions on both sides, it's going to make for an interesting final 10 minutes. It was already going to be an interesting final 10 minutes. And depending on what you get in stoppage time here, in extra time, but you're gonna have to see these substitutions find a rhythm and find some confidence really early.
Those St. Louis substitutions brought to you by Cigna. Of course, that stoppage will be added on to the end of the 90 minutes. First chance for Tyler Blackwood, who scored the winner at Lou City when they met back on July 18th. Can he make an impact late on here for St. Louis? Wharton wins it back. And then I think he dragged down Jogo there. Yes, he did. Steve Trichu and the bench not happy with that decision. But it's going to go Lou City's way with just under 5 minutes left in the 90 before we head into stoppage time here. Lou City will clear. Luke Spencer keeps it alive here for Corbin Bone, who had some space if he had taken a quicker touch there. Although in the end, it almost nearly found its way all the way out to Watts, but a good challenge by Paris G gives it back to St. Louis. Do you have a solid game plan for your financial future at Edward Jones? They craft investment strategies that are as individual as you are. There's Sean Tosh. After that collision, his hard night's work is done for Lou City. And he's got a pretty nice color for that head bandage that he's got on. Very Lou City-centric, of course. Williams and Umar battling for it. Wall Fall, who assisted on the equalizer, switches fields. Here's Rich Bryan. Battling with it with Ombi. Bryan holds his ground. Umar under some pressure here. Does well to keep his composure and find a teammate. Kyle Gregg for Todd Wharton, who has Blackwood up with him, and he nearly threaded the needle for him. But Jonathan Gomez was there, and Lou City were able to clear their lines.
And let's see how both these teams respond to making substitutions on their back line. Usually as a coach, you want to see a back line, finish the 90 minutes for the most part, unless there needs to be a change. Obviously the injury did force a change, but this late in the game, especially when you're substituting a center back as well, you just spent a lot of games supporting each other, defending. Now you've had to insert yourselves later in a 1-1 game where you want points.
And if it stays as it is, it'll stay as it is in the group as well. Both teams will gain a point. Lou City will stay 2 points ahead of St. Louis. Both teams will obviously gain a point on Indy 11, but a goal here could really be a huge difference maker in how Group E turns out. If Lou City can get it, they're 5 points clear. If St. Louis can get it, they jump ahead of Lou City and they're 1 point clear in second place. And of course, if there is a winner, they get that much closer to Indy 11. Of course, if Lou City win, they'll be level on points at the top. Corbin Bone sizing it up. Umar was there defensively. The help there as well from Kadeem Dakers. It's out for Jonathan Gomez, who placed it into the penalty area. He was headed away, I think, by Fink. Outside of the boot, ball forward by Wall Fall. And Suwahi sends it back to his goalkeeper.
Just been so impressed with Sam Fink all night. He's really provided stability in that back line and playing out of confidence, playing with a lot of confidence.
Lovely give and go there. Bone into the penalty area. Kavita holding it off and holding Masoso away from it. It's out for a Lou City corner on the far side.
You could see St. Louis players didn't necessarily want to give up this corner kick this late. And now with Sean Tosh out for Lou City, who's their target? Ockford's good in the air as well.
Luke Spencer's got the height to get up there. It's in by Gomez, and in the end, it's easy for Morton. Is there one last chance for one of these two to find a winner here? Next goal probably wins it at this point. Of course, it really could come down to how much added time we will have. Of course, the two injuries, one to Gagnola Perret and one to Sean Tosh, will certainly give us at least a few at the end of this second half. A ball squared across the face of goal. Nobody there in a white shirt, and Brian Omby has to watch it go out of play for a goal kick.
And St. Louis definitely knows how to score late goals in extra time, as they did against Sporting KC for that 1-1 draw in early August.
USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off in spring 2021. For more information, visit usl-academy.com. Search hashtag USL Academy on social media. Chance there for St. Louis. Goes begging. Kyle Gregg trying to find the target. A little ambitious
7 minutes of
in the end.
Time to the second half. Need more
Take a look.
time in your
Stoppage time
business?
presented by
Contact
Paycor.
to handle
Before
your
we get to that, though, here's the
resources
chance from Gregg. Blasted over the top. Couldn't quite put that on target. Stoppage time again presented by Paycor. Need more time in your business? Contact Paycor to handle your payroll and human resource needs. 7 added minutes at the end of this one. Plenty of time for one of these two to find what could be a game-changing winning goal in this Group E. Here come Lou City here. Chance to put that ball into the penalty area. It was blocked out for a corner on the far side. I think that's Fanuel Kavita who put his body on the line there to block it, and he's still down for St. Louis.
And you gotta like the way St. Louis has played this second half, and Coach Trichu's gotta be pleased with the energy. They really played with a lot of purpose to get the equalizer early enough to give them a chance to find the game winner with still plenty of time here. But they really have been balanced in the second half.
Steve Trichu played on the 1990 World Cup team for the United States men's national team. Also the first American to ever play in the European Cup, of course now known as the UEFA Champions League. Ball into the penalty area for Lou City here. Handball appeals against Luke Spencer. Boy, every single green shirt had a hand go up there. And it goes St. Louis's way. Luke Spencer controlled it with the part of the body you're not allowed to control it with.
And we're looking to drive a ball a little farther away from Morton. That corner kick just before that one went right at him. It's too easy.
5 minutes to play. Fink. Able to find Dakers. We haven't seen too much since he's come on yet. Bryan, an overlapping run. Going up against Gomez. Ball was deflected on its way through. And Williams clears for Lou City. Spencer holds it up and is fouled by Umar. Lou City trying to take it quickly. A yellow card quickly issued to Oscar Umar.
It looked like Richard Bryan had a chance to serve that ball in early. Kyle Gregg had made a really good run, like he has all night between those two center backs. And here you see the challenge by Umar. Definitely deserving of a yellow.
Caution has been issued to St. Louis FC's number 17, Oscar Umar.
Didn't want to let Lou City run rampant at the end of this really enthralling game here in Group E. Zuwahi sends it forward to Luke Spencer. Masoso plays it out wide. Jam into the penalty area. Kavita comfortably clears. Gregg does his job again, holding up the play for Blackwood. Shepherds it out of play. This is a St. Louis throw.
This really is the game that you and I thought it was going to be, and everybody thought it was going to be. Very well balanced, two teams, well organized, well coached, quality players. Each team has made adjustments throughout the match and gained momentum. So this last few minutes is going to be really interesting.
Bryan cuts it back for Dakers. Warren back to Dakers. 3 minutes to go here of the 7 added on. Dakers runs into space here, and his shot is well wide and off target. Saw the opening, but in the end couldn't quite find the target there.
And there have been a number of chances throughout the 90 minutes that St. Louis has found the gaps to take shots. And unfortunately, they just haven't hit frame with some of them.
Boy, more pressure here from St. Louis, and this time Ben Lunt almost a little too lackadaisical there. Gets lucky, it's only a goal kick. Umar, bit of a miss kick downfield. Might have been a handball there on the control. Steve Trichu asking the assistant referee on the near side. Lou City might have gotten away with one there. Tough to tell. Offside is going to be ruled, though, against Lou City, so that stops the play in its tracks. Boy, not only Steve Trichu, about 4 or 5 St. Louis players saw that right away. He was looking a little bit more incensed than the calm, cool, collected Steve Trichu you just saw there.
But you could tell how much these 3 points mean to them as well.
Could be a chance here for Lou City at the other end. Jam for Spencer. Speedy Williams lines it up, and it's easily saved by Morton. Is there one more chance? Is there a magic moment at the end here that could totally change how this group looks moving forward? Lou City win it back here. Bone initially. Falls here for Jimmy Ockford, the substitute. Speedy Williams. Near side here, Brian Omby, who set up the first goal for Lou City. Places it into the penalty area. Fink got in front of Spencer, clears it away. Gregg again does really well to hold up the play for St. Louis. Sent down this near side for Blackwood, who touched it on and is fouled in the process by Ockford. It's a free kick for St. Louis. Could be the last sequence of the game here. Looks like Ockford is going to be penalized with a booking for that challenge as well.
And this could be one of the opportunities that St. Louis is looking for. Really spend the time setting it up the way you want to, and then you take the kick late enough, whereas if you don't score, you really don't go give Lou City a chance to counter on you.
Louisville City FC's number 5.
But it's in that dangerous spot where if you put it right outside that 6-yard box, and Lunt's got to make a decision on whether he comes out or he stays on his line.
Todd Wharton is over this for St. Louis. Could be the last chance of the game here. Towards the back post, Kavita tries to keep it alive. Umar for St. Louis. Places it back into the penalty area, cleared away by Ockford. Play continues here. Brian slipped. Lou City have it back through Speedy Williams. Is there a chance to counter here for the roadside? Brian Omby runs onto this for Lou City. There's still time. Omby lofts it into the penalty area, and it's well over the top of the goal and out for a goal kick. And that is going to be the last action of this one. Somehow, despite all the chances, it finishes 1-1. What a game between St. Louis and Lou City. It's odd as even in the end, and these two teams stay second and third in Group E. What a fantastic contest here at West Community Stadium in Fenton, Missouri. It finishes 1-1. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll go through the highlights and stats from another enthralling Group E matchup in the USL Championship.
Stadium on Friday, September 4th.
So how is it?
Great.
Do you think he's ready for a debit card?
Mm-hmm.
He's on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
The Greenlight app and debit card makes it easy to manage your kids' money and brings you peace of mind.
He has to do it.
Mm-hmm.
With Greenlight, kids form smart money habits that prepare them for their futures.
Did you know about this?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Greenlight, all the tools you need to raise financially smart kids.
Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky back here with you. It finishes all square between St. Louis and Lou City. One apiece tonight between these two Group E foes in the Kings Cup. Really memorable matchup, no question about that, as we take a look at the full-time highlights from this one. And Eric, it was really after the St. Louis flurry early on, Lou City landed the first blow from an unlikely source.
It was such a well-played game. Each team took momentum in different segments, and here you can see a second chance opportunity where you have a center back, Sean Tosh, still in the 18-yard box. Good service in by Omby, and then Tosh finds the back of the net there, puts them up 1-0 when really St. Louis had the momentum and had possession and had some of the opportunities.
Paris G setting up a big opportunity there for Russell Cicerone. Cicerone and Gregg really were in a couple of really good opportunities for St. Louis tonight. And in the 52nd minute, Paris G is somebody that we probably should have talked about a little bit more. His service was really good, and Yola Perret nearly set up the chance there.
kind of the story of the night for St. Louis, getting good services in, but never finding the end of them, and really doing a great job of getting numbers in the box when the ball got wide.
Cicerone here lined one up and nearly found the back of that. Goalkeeper was quickly down to save it. This was probably his best chance of the night.
You've got to like how aggressive that St. Louis came out in that second half. They did, really put the pressure on them in the beginning of the first half, but this second half was different, and this ball from Wall Fall was incredible. And then Sam tucks it right into that right upper corner outside of the boot there.
I think the pass might have been better than the finish. That's how good it was from Wall Fall, but it was more Sam's second goal of the season that leveled it, and then it was the pressure here from Kyle Gregg that nearly led to a second St. Louis goal.
Good pressure by Gregg. Sam was out there 1v1, but then good ball across. Wharton almost gets on the end of it.
That was probably the best chance for either side, besides the more Sam goal in the second half. Take a look at the full-time match stats. Possession sort of evened out a little bit more than we saw in the first half. Certainly shots on target stayed about even as well. It was really a chance of both teams taking turns to go at each other. It was a lot of fun.
It was hard fought. You could see both teams really tactically make adjustments throughout the 90 minutes, and it's just tells you how hard this group is, and they match up 2 more times.
Tonight's man of the match, presented by Pleats Cleaners. Had a couple of options here, but I think when More Sam's name came up, it was pretty clear. More Sam is tonight's man of the match, is selected by our broadcast crew. Follow St. Louis Football Club on Twitter to vote in the Pleats Man of the Match fan poll to let us know who you think is tonight's St. Louis FC Man of the Match. Well deserved.
Well deserved. Sometimes those are the hardest ones to finish when you have so much time taking it on the dribble, and Sam calmly puts it in the back of the net, gets the equalizer.
After another enthralling Group E tie, it stays the same in the standings. As you see there, Edward Jones presents tonight's final score. St. Louis 1, Lou City 1. Fantastic game yet again in Group E. Both teams went for it. Both teams brought their A game. Now both teams can celebrate their hard-earned performances with their players. Well, Group E continues to deliver the drama. Both teams had plenty of chances to find winners in this one. In the end, Sean Tosh opened the scoring with his first goal of the season. It was hard fought. St. Louis was able to find an equalizer through More Sam, and in the end, a physical battle finished 1 apiece. For Eric Dobransky and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Fenton, Missouri. In the end, it stays odd as even.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.